If you're trying to figure out what your money actually gets you in McDonough, Georgia, I want to show you real neighborhoods, real price points, and what it actually feels like to live in each one. Because 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 are very different here, and knowing where to look makes all the difference. Hey, I'm Joanna Miles. I help buyers relocate to McDonough and surrounding areas, especially when it comes to new construction and knowing which communities actually fit your lifestyle. And today, I'm going to walk you through what you can expect in the 300s, 400s, and 500s using real neighborhoods so you can start to picture where you might fit. Let's start in the 300s because that's where a lot of buyers begin. In this range, you're really deciding between newer construction with less space or resale with a little more room. You've got communities like Avery Landing. This is a DRB Homes townhome community right near downtown McDonough, which is a big plus if you like being close to the square, restaurants, and local events. You're typically looking at 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, around 1,600 to 1,800 square feet, with 2-car garages and prices in that high 200s to low 300s range. Then you've got Echo Glen, built by D.R. Horton. This one is technically in Stockbridge, but it's right on the edge, so you still get easy access to McDonough. They offer 3 to 4 bedroom homes starting at around 1,655 square feet, also a 2-car garage, and pricing in the upper 200s and the low 300s. Kendall Grove is another new construction neighborhood, and it's really convenient to I-75, shopping, and everyday errands. You'll find both single-family homes and townhomes here. The single-family homes are usually 3 to 5 bedrooms, many under 400,000, with 2-car garages, and you get a really nice community pool, all brick. The townhomes start around 1,700 square feet, 3 to 4 bedrooms, also with 2-car garages. I also want to mention Silverock because this one sits right on that upper end of 300s, and it feels very different from your typical townhouse. It's DRB Homes Community, and these are 3-story luxury townhomes starting in the upper 300s, typically around 370,000 up to just under 400,000. You're looking around 1,900 square feet with 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2.5 to 3.5 bathrooms, and 2-car garages. So you're getting a lot more functionality space compared to some of the lower 300 options. All of these new construction communities are typically offering incentives. Those change often. So if you want the latest on those, just reach out and I can walk you through what's available right now. But if you're open to resale, this is where you can get a little more for your money. Wesley Lakes is one that comes up a lot. It's an established community with sidewalks, a lake, and amenities, and it's really convenient location close to shopping and restaurant. You're often getting more yard space here compared to new construction at the same price point. Crown River is another solid option. It has a quieter feel, walking trails, and a more tucked away setting, but you're still close to everything that you need. Then there's Avalon. This is a great example of resale neighborhood where you're getting good space, established surroundings, and still staying within the 300 range depending on the home, and it's conveniently located to shopping, I-75, all of those things. Something a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of homes throughout McDonough that are not in subdivision. So if you're someone who wants land, no HOA, more privacy, these options exist here too, especially in that price range. And you're still going to be close to schools, shopping, and everything you need. One thing about McDonough, you're never far from a grocery store. There's a Publix just about everywhere. So everyday convenience is definitely there. So in the 300,000 range, it really comes down to this. Do you want a newer and low maintenance home or more space and more established feel? Either way, there are options in McDonough in the 300,000 range. If you're trying to figure out which of these areas actually fits you best, I do have a couple of guides below that will really help you. There's a Henry County relocation guide that breaks down the different areas, the schools, and what to expect. And I also have a new construction guide that walks you through builders' incentives and what to look for before you buy new. You can download both of these below. They'll give you a really good starting point. Once you move into the 400s, This is honestly where things really start to open up. This is the price range where most of my relocation buyers land because you're getting a strong balance of space, new construction, and a community feel. Let's start with Cooper Park, built by DRB Homes. This is a single family home community with homes starting in the low to mid 400s. You're typically getting 3 to 5 bedrooms, around 2,700 to over 3,000 square feet with 2-car garages. What I like about Cooper Park is the layout options. You'll see things like lofts, flex spaces, home offices, even cover patios for entertainment. And the community itself has a really nice setup, a pool, a cabana, playground, even a dog park, so it feels complete. Plus, it's right off of Jonesboro Road, minutes from I-75, so location-wise, it's very convenient. Another strong option is Southern Hills by Dreamfinder Homes. This community has a different feel. It blends that Southern charm with more modern, upgraded finishes. You'll see things like standalone tubs, LED mirrors, and more designs already included, which a lot of buyers love because you're not paying extra for upgrades. It's also about 30 minutes to the airport, so it works well for anyone commuting or relocating into that area. And this is one of the few communities where you'll find some floor plans with dual primary suite options, which is huge for multi-generational living or guests. Then you've got Anderson Point Estates by Pulte Homes, which you've probably seen if you've been looking in this area or you saw my neighborhood tour of Anderson Point Estates. These homes are known for a larger layout, open kitchen, and a really functional living spaces. You've got bigger home sites, sidewalks, and a clean, well-designed neighborhood feel. It's located in the Lake Dow area, close to Publix, Heritage Park, and still not far from I-75, so you're getting both convenience and a quieter setting. Gates at Pates Creek by D.R. Horton is really interesting option because it gives you something you don't always find in this area, basement homes. This community sits near McDonough, closer towards Hampton, and you'll find homes in the 400s and 500s, depending on the lot and the layout. The basement options are a big draw, especially if you're thinking long term, whether that's extra living space, storage, or even future expansions. And you're still getting that newer construction feel with modern layouts and open living spaces. If you're open to resale in the 400s, this is where you get a lot of house for your money. Lake Dow North is a great example. This is more of a lifestyle community, golf, lake, larger homes, and more space between properties. You're typically getting bigger lots and a quieter, more established feel compared to new construction. Park Place at Avalon, this is known for larger homes. I've seen 3,000 plus square feet in this neighborhood, and you're still often in that mid to upper 400s range. So if space is a priority, this is one that you can look at. The Landings at Wesley Lake is an established neighborhood feel with sidewalks, access to amenities, and really convenient location close to shopping and restaurant. It's a good middle ground between lifestyle and convenience. And last, let's talk about Tapestry Park. This one tends to attract buyers who want a newer feel but still want resale pricing and more settled community. You'll see good layouts, decent yard space, and it's still close to everything McDonough has to offer. In the 400s, you're really choosing between new construction with modern layouts, amenities, and incentives, or resale where you might get more space, more land, and more established neighborhood feel. And this is where I spend a lot of time on my buyers because on paper, everything looks similar, but once you walk these neighborhoods, they feel very different. Once you move into the 500s, this is where things really start to shift. This is no longer just about getting more space. This is where lifestyle layout and how the home lives day to day really start to matter. Anderson Point Estates is still very much in play in this price range. You'll see some of their larger floor plans pushing in the 500s, especially once they start adding upgrades. And that's something to keep in mind here. Base prices might start in the 400s, but once you get into structural options, upgraded kitchen, flooring, and outdoor spaces, it's very easy to move into the 500. What you're getting, though, is very clean, well-designed community, larger homes, open layouts, in a neighborhood that already feels established. If you're looking for something that feels a little more elevated, right out the gate, take a look at Trinity Park. This is a DRB Homes community with all brick homes and a more upscale look as you drive through. One of the floor plans here, the Clarity Plan, is absolutely worth seeing. It's open, it's bright, and it just flows really well for everyday living and entertaining. You're also getting features like loft spaces, flex rooms, a covered outdoor area, so it works well if you need a home office, guest space, or just more room to spread out. And the location, you're still close to McDonough, shopping, dining, I-75, so you're not sacrificing convenience. Even though I mentioned gates at Pates Creek in the 400s, it carries into the 500s depending on the home. And as you move up in price there, you start getting into larger floor plans, 4 to 5 bedrooms, and in some cases, even 3-car garages. One of the biggest upgrades in the community is the basement option. You'll find homes, they have the unfinished basement, which gives you a lot of flexibility, whether that's extra living space, storage, or something you finish out later. In the 500s, resale starts to open up in a big way. And this is where you really start to see more established neighborhoods with personality, space, and different lifestyle options. Let's talk about Reverie at Eastlake, because it's a great example of a neighborhood that can fall into both 400s and 500s depending on the home. This community sits right across from the Union Grove school cluster, which is a big draw for a lot of buyers. And you're also close to shopping, dining, and everyday convenience. Oakhurst Manor is a newer feeling resale neighborhood where you're getting larger homes, modern layouts, and more polished look without waiting on new construction. It's a good fit if you want something move-in ready with a lot more space and presence. Brush Arbor is one of my favorites and one a lot of buyers fall in love with once they see it in person. It has a more boutique feel, walking trails, green space, and the homes just are so cute. You'll still be close to everything, but it doesn't feel as busy as some of the other areas. Then there's Dow North. This one really spans multiple price points, but in the 500s, you're getting larger homes, bigger lots, and access to that golf course and lake lifestyle. This is for someone who wants space, a lot more quiet, and a neighborhood that feels established and spread out. In the 500s, it really comes down to how you want to live. Do you want newer construction with upgrades and modern layouts and some incentives? Do you want a basement home with room to grow? Or do you want an established neighborhood with more character, more space, and a different kind of lifestyle? And this is where I spend a lot of time helping buyers narrow that down. Because once you get into this price range, it's less about what you can afford and more about actually what fits your day-to-day life. So now that you've seen what's in the 300s, 400s, and 500s, really comes down to what fits your lifestyle. And if you're not sure which direction to go yet, that's exactly what those guides below are for. Grab those, and if you have any questions, my information's on the screen. If you're finding these videos helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe, so you don't miss the next ones. I break down neighborhoods, pricing, and what it's really like to live here. And if you have a question or you're trying to decide between areas, just drop it in the comments. I'm always happy to help. See you in the next video.